Hello, lovely book friends, and happy 2025. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the books that I have purchased in 2025, the books that I have read in 2025, the books that I have borrowed from the library in 2025, and also I'm going to be unboxing one advanced reader copy that I have been very generously sent. Without further ado, let's get started. So I was very lucky this year. I went to the Australian Open in Melbourne and I was staying in Carlton. So it was an absolute must that I went to Readings Carlton, which is one of the OG bookshops in Melbourne. And it's just divine when you walk in there. There's like ladders everywhere up on the bookshelves. They're all on rollers. There are beautiful centerpieces all throughout the bookshop. The booksellers were really lovely and really helpful, which we absolutely adore. The one book I withheld myself to just purchasing one book that I got is called The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. The premise is that two young boys go missing in a forest for 6 months. They then return and are very quiet, tight-lipped about what it is that actually happened for them during that time. Then we fast forward and there is a woman who her sister went missing in the same forest and she didn't return. She has connected with one of the boys who is now a grown-up, and he is going to kind of guide her through and share his secrets of what did happen in that 6 months that he was there. I'm really excited to hear a young child's perspective of the magical forest that they go into, but then also his recollections as an adult, what that experience was actually like and why they've kept it a secret for so long. The next book I picked up was Liane Moriarty's Here One Moment. I was addicted to this book the moment that I opened it. So I should clarify, haven't read this book, have read this book, purchased them around the same time. The premise of Here One Moment is that a woman stands up on a plane aisle that has been delayed from Hobart to Sydney. It's finally in the air. It's close to landing in Sydney. She's in somewhat of a psychotic, subconscious state, and she walks down the aisle, pointing to passengers left and right, telling them how they're going to die and how old they will be when they die. So she's giving them a psychic prediction of sorts. Some people totally laugh it off and others are absolutely terrified and totally erratic about the fact that she has just pointed to a child or pointed to them who they may have been unwell, or they could have had something really traumatic that's just happened to them in their life. This book is extremely fascinating because once we land the plane and we get off the plane, we start to backtrack the woman who has given all of these predictions unwillingly to people. We understand her story, her storyline, her history, and also the fact that her mother was a clairvoyant and her relationship with her. But then we also follow a number of the characters and how the prediction impacts their life, how much it weighs on them, if they change the course of their life due to the prediction. So it's incredibly fascinating. It's really fast-paced. It's very much character-driven story. I really enjoyed all the multiple different perspectives. There is quite a few, but you never feel like you can't keep track of who's who, which I have to say Liane Moriarty does a very good job of that. And also, if this were to become a movie or a TV series, I would be here for it. The next few books I purchased were a bit of a birthday present to myself. I was very excited. The first one that I have read out of this pile is Daydream by Hannah Gray. This follows Hallie and Henry, who are part of this world. Icebreaker is the first book in this series, which I have read. The second book is called Wildfire. Haven't read that one and actually can't remember who that book is about, so apologies. This book follows Henry as he takes over the really large role of being the ice hockey captain for his team. Henry isn't diagnosed with any formal disability or any neurodiversity. However, he's really in tune with his body and he recognizes when sometimes an environment is just too much for him. Sometimes a conversation might be too much for him. And also sometimes the pressure that is and the expectations that are on him at the moment is really getting to him. He seeks out Hallie because Hallie is a very clever cookie. She is a book gal. She is a baking gal. She is helping him get through one of his classes. Their introduction and their meet cute is absolutely gorgeous. I have to say this is a slow burn. It is a friends to lovers, but very much from the beginning we know that Henry is looking for much more than friends. There's so much character growth and development in this book that initially it was sitting at a 4 out of 5 stars for me, but now it's kind of moved up to a 5 out of 5. Next book is The Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I have to admit, when I picked this up, I picked it up because of all the hype. And that is so not like me. I very rarely pick up a book because it has so much hype and it's really a high expectations type of book when it's first come out. So I literally went and got this the day that it was released. It follows Scarlett and swim captain Lucas. They have a similar sexual preference, which for Lucas, his relationship that he's in right now, they're just not melding. They don't have the same ideas of what they want in a relationship and also what they want physically. For Scarlett to kind of pipe up and say, maybe that's something that I can give you, that then starts to grow their relationship. Now, I didn't know how spicy this book was going to be when I was reading some of the reviews. Does that mean that I won't be reading it? No, I will certainly give it a go. However, if it's not for me, I will put it down and I'll pass it on to a friend. So the next book I picked up is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Now, this is one that has also had lots of hype. I haven't been deterred by it. I have seen it come up on my Kindle so many times. As soon as I saw the book, I went, yeah, I think I'm actually going to do it because I think I will really enjoy this series. So this is about Cyrus. Cyrus has powers that not many other people know about, and eventually it gets her to a pickle where she comes into contact with Death himself, then opens up a portal, she goes into a whole new world, and she gets paired with this gorgeous, handsome, but horrible fae. I think things bloom from there. Their adventures start to happen. The quests that they have to go on continue. This is very much in the adult fantasy section. This book, if it's the first of many, I think I'm going to be in. Then, of course, we had to get Onyx Storm, number 3 in the Fourth Wing series. I am looking forward to starting this. If you haven't dipped your toe into the Fourth Wing series, you would be starting with Fourth Wing, then you'd be moving to Iron Flame, and then you would be up to Onyx Storm. I have to say this is the most dragony series that I think that I have read and thoroughly enjoyed. So I won't tell you too much because obviously this is the third book. We are continuing to follow Violet and Xaden as they navigate the challenges that happened at the end of book 2. That's all I'm going to say. I am a little bit bummed because the copy that I got is a little bit off center. Can we see that? So when I put them in like my collection, they're a little bit off center. So will I probably read this book and then donate it and go and get another copy? Maybe I will. Then the last 3 books that I purchased in one hit and have read one of, so I will start with that. Tessa Bailey's Dream Girl Drama. I am a Tessa Bailey fiend. If you know me well, you know that I usually read a Tessa Bailey pretty much immediately as it comes out, or I will wait until there are about 2 or 3 and I go back to back to back of reading them. I bloody love her hot, spicy scenes. I think they're fantastic. She does them very well. But does she always have good plot and good character and good banter, great conversations and good yearning? Yes. She has all of those things too. This one follows Sig and Chloe, who are in a bit of a pickle because their parents have met and are wanting to get married, but Sig and Chloe don't know that. And they meet about 15 minutes or 20 minutes before they go to a dinner where they find that out. Sig and Chloe have a little bit of a moment on their own, kind of go, oh yeah, kind of like you, kind of like you. This might go somewhere. Wait up, got to go to a dinner and then BRB, like catch up with you later. Doesn't end up happening. So these 2 are navigating their future step-sibling relationship, which, have to say, haven't read a step-sibling romance since probably Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instruments. If you know, you know. I enjoyed this. Would I say it's my favourite Tessa Bailey? No. Would I say it satisfied the need and the craving that I had for a Tessa Bailey book? Absolutely. Then we have Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams, which I'm also really excited to start. Sarah Adams is one that I pick up regularly. She's much more on the softer romance side. Sometimes we have a closed door scene rather than an open door. This is your small town series of Rome, Kentucky. So this one we follow Emily Walker, who's one of the older sisters, and Jack Bennett. They are both primary school teachers. They have a little bit of a feud happening, but of course, we will see them go from enemies to hopefully lovers. I enjoy this series a lot. Then we have a little bit of an odd one, which is called Will Prescribe You a Cat by, I want to say, Sayu Ishidia. I have not read any kind of Asian inspired literature or translations in quite a while. I have to say my favorites are definitely the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. So this is a little bit unique. It follows a clinic that if you go in there and seek support, I'm pretty certain it's some form of therapy and mental health support, you will be prescribed a cat. I'm not actually sure if we read from the perspective of cats or whether we read from the perspective of an individual human who has been prescribed a cat. Now, here are the books that I have borrowed. Some of them are from the library. One of them is from a friend. The one from a friend has been Things Will Calm Down Soon by Zoe Foster Blake. I have really liked the feedback that I received from my friend about this being kind of a bit entrepreneurial, and you kind of get a little bit of a feeling of behind the scenes as a growing and maturing woman, someone who is finding their feet and finding themselves in the world of business. Then we have The Wedding Forecast by Nina Kenwood. This is about Anna, who has just turned 30. Her love life has kind of fallen apart, and since that's happened, she's realized she's not happy in her job. She's not happy how things are moving, and she chooses to go and see a psychic about her future love life. She then goes to a wedding where she meets Patrick and tries to figure out whether he might actually be the person that the psychic was talking about. Pictures of You by Emma Gray. This I actually started listening to last year. I have read Emma's other book called The Last Love Note. Adored, 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 cried, sobbed, which is not like me. But this is about a woman who has amnesia due to an accident that she has been in with her husband. She is at his funeral. She can't recognize many people. She is really struggling to get her memory back. She kind of sees herself as a 16, 17, 18-year-old young person back in the life that she had then. She is escaping the funeral because it's just too much. It's so overwhelming. She calls herself an Uber. She's figured out how to use the Uber app. She jumps into the back of this car. She didn't check the number plate, and she just tells this driver, just go. I just need to leave. Take me anywhere but here. Turns out that driver is her high school sweetheart. He has attended the funeral in the hopes that he could see her one more time. I have thoroughly enjoyed of the audio that I have listened to. I would say I'm probably not even 100 pages from the end. How I have not picked this physical book up, I do not know. But as soon as I finish the next book that I'm going to show you that I am reading right now, this will be the next. One of the last books that has been borrowed in this pile is The Valley by Chris Hammer. I am very lucky to be interviewing Chris later this year. The Valley is his latest book that we will be talking about. This follows a controversial entrepreneur who has been murdered, and he's got his finger kind of on the pulse of everything that's happening in this small town, which is set in a valley. Everyone knows everything about everyone. There are many people in this town who have a strong dislike towards this man because his entrepreneurial ideas and movements that have happened in this town have not always been well liked, even though he has been attempting to progress the valley. It's really fascinating watching some of these pieces all come together. There's also quite a shocking discovery that happens for Nell Buchanan. So I think we're going to see quite a bit of character development for her as well, which I really enjoy. Chris is also a fabulous fellow, and I really look forward to interviewing him. We're making it to the end of this video. Thank you very much, Larrikin. Larrikin specialize in children's books. They have picture books, also junior fiction. I want to say middle grade fiction as well. I think they have some graphic novels too. And you know what? This is actually perfect. Scott Stewart's books are really, really fantastic because they represent gender identity. I have seen and sold in my times of a bookseller quite a few of his books for young parents and young children who are looking to understand more about diversity, but also gender makeup and gender stereotypes. So this book, My Shadow is Blue, is about empowering children to stand up for right. For me, in my line of 9-to-5 work, this is very important and very much a topic that I'm passionate about. So thank you so much, Larrikin House. This one is a keeper for me. That was a lot of books. I have a lot of reading to do. Oh, before we go, there are a couple books that I wanted to show you or share with you that out of my reading journal that I have read and listed. I have read all of the pen Cole books. So Spark of the Everflame, Glow of the Everflame, and Heat of the Everflame. I think this is slowly becoming, well, not slowly, quite quickly becoming one of my favorite fantasy series that I have read in a very long time. So in saying that, I'm off. I'm going to go have some lunch, and I'm also going to do some more book shopping this afternoon. Books are my weakness. Okay, bye.